Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make this cool Queen of Hearts headband. I will also show you how to throw together a quick Queen of Hearts Disneybound. As always, the materials and tools will be listed down below. Let's get started. First, I started with a garland of white roses. It was $2 at Hobby Lobby. And then I started clipping the roses off of the garland, leaving a little bit of a stem for now so that we have something to hold them while we paint them. I also clipped off some leaves to use on the back of the crown. We won't be painting the leaves, so you can just pull them off the garland as they are. For my headband, I used 5 whole roses, and then I also painted a 6th one because I cut it up a little bit to use in various places on the finished product. I experimented before I started with using fabric paint and acrylic paint in different ways. This is just fabric paint by itself, but I kind of globbed it on with a toothpick. This is fabric paint painted on with a paintbrush, and I found it was a little transparent for my liking. And then the third petal is actually red acrylic paint covered with fabric paint on top of it, and I liked how this looked. It's very bright and opaque and glittery, and so this is what we're going to do. What I've done is taken these little bag clips, clothespins would work fine probably, and I'm just gonna clip the stem, and that's gonna hold the roses upright while I paint them and while they dry. So we'll see how many I can do at once. I do like chips, so I have a lot of bag clips. For the first layer, I used cheap acrylic craft paint in a blood red color. And for the second layer, I used fabric paint that is intended to be used with a paintbrush. And of course, it's red and glittery. Duh. I started from the outside of the flower working inward, and I used popsicle sticks to keep the petals separate. However, I would actually recommend starting on the inside of the flower and kind of flipping all of the petals inside out to keep them away, and then working your way toward those outer petals. And now we paint the roses red. Turtle? Please. That is just so rude. So what else is new? Just did that because I should not be trusted with paint because I'm a disaster of a human being. And this is about the moment I figured out to work from the inside of the flower outward. Luckily, you have me to make the mistakes for you, so you can just start from the inside out to begin with. Nothing's ever as easy as it looks in a cartoon. Painting the roses red. More like painting the fingers red. I need an Oreo. Much better. Okay, once you let the acrylic paint dry on all of your petals, you can go in with the glittery fabric paint. Of course, it doesn't have to be glittery, but I wouldn't be true to my brand if I did anything else. But in all seriousness, if glitter isn't your style, any fabric paint with a shiny finish will really add something to the flower and make it look freshly painted. My application method was with a toothpick in the shape of a sword. Of course, any toothpick will probably do, but half sword will use. I kind of frosted the fabric paint on like frosting on a cake. and I found that it gave me the right amount of glitter, and the fabric paint didn't get too globby. It also didn't ruin any of my brushes, and I was able to add the droplets to make it look freshly painted. Now it is time to glue it on the headband. I cut off the stems before doing this, but if you want to leave the stems on, you honestly can. We'll hide them with leaves anyway. So I just cut the stems short, absolutely gobbed on the hot glue because I don't know how not to overdo it, and then stuck them straight to my headband. In order to hold the headband upright while I was gluing things on, I defaulted to my trusty bag clips again. You can plan out the layout of the roses, or you can just wing it. I just winged it because that's just who I am. So I've stuck the first rose in the very center of the top of the headband with heaps and heaps of hot glue, as is my style. And then I just added the other roses around it. Since I painted roses of different sizes, I started with one of the big ones, and then on either side of the center big one, I put 2 smaller ones. And then on either side of that, I put the 2 big ones again. That left me with 1 large one that I cut up to add some flair to the very sides. Here you can see I started adding some leaves to the back. This offers a nice contrast for the roses, and it'll also serve to hide some of that hot glue and stems on the back of the crown. If you are unsure about placement, feel free to try it on a lot during this process. The benefit of hot glue is that it dries super quickly. So as soon as it's dry, throw it on your head and make sure that you like what you're doing. Here, I'm actually leaving my desk to go try it on and make sure that I like the placement and see if I want to add anything else along the sides. Is that leaf moving? I have ghosts in my house! Oh, that's creepy. Just kidding. It's the air conditioner. My desk is right under the vent. Had you there for a second though, didn't I? So after trying it on and adding all of the whole flowers that I had painted, I decided to cut up the last one. And I took 1 leaf and then I glued a couple large petals from the flower to the leaf, as you can see here. And I continued to do that with half the petals from the flower until I had this nice layered effect. I took this new half flower and glued it on the side of the headband just to add a little bit more coverage and flare down the sides. After everything's glued on the headband, the final touch is to add these cute, teeny tiny playing cards to the crown. The package I found had Ace of Spades and Queen of Hearts only, so I just obviously used the Queen of Hearts for this crown. Using Superglue gel, I dabbed a little bit on the back of the card and then stuck them into the crown in random places. I did notice the Superglue stuck a little bit better to the fabric paint than to the fabric. If you stick it to the fabric, it will leak through and also stick to your fingers, so just a heads up on that one. But it really wouldn't be a video of mine if I didn't get Superglue all over my fingers at some point. Am I right? And that's the finished crown. To round out the Disneybound, I paired it with a red wig, a black dress, Queen of Hearts card leggings that I got on Amazon, and combat boots. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below who your favorite Alice in Wonderland character is. See you next time. Just hear everyone putting their bins out. Oh, good lord, I look like I've committed a crime. Okay. Yeah, good enough.